What's up guys, welcome back to Unlimited Reads. My name is Chris and today I'm super excited because it is almost time for Horror Mayhem again. I participated in this awesome writing project last year when the Bookish Bryants ran it and remembered having an absolute ball. For the project I remember reading 4 books. The first one was a classic from the late 70s by UK horror author James Herbert with The Rats. Now sadly James Herbert passed away some years ago, but before he did he had a very prolific writing career and wrote quite a few novels actually. The Rats is a novel that I hadn't read since I was a kid and I remember virtually nothing about what happens in the novel. I was really glad to pick it up again and was pretty impressed with the writing style at the time because it was one of James's very first books. It was absolutely frightening on what could happen with rat plagues and the like, and yeah, it was very, very unsettling. And after reading that one, I made a pledge to myself to look at some more of his work. But the other book I read, one of the others, was The Haunting of Rookwood House by Darcy Coates. She is an Australian horror author who has a very impressive bibliography behind her now. She writes very, very good haunting and ghost stories. I remember reading one of her short story collections a few years back and was so impressed that I have read a couple of her books, and this one was really, really good. It was original on the haunted house trope and it was very, very well done, and it was a really good selection for the project. I had a ball with that one as well. Next I read The Mist by Stephen King, which is the novella taken from my favourite Stephen King collection ever of Skeleton Crew. I haven't really seen the movie, so I'm not sure how that compares to the original source material, but I remember quite a few years ago reading The Mist for the first time. I was really, really impressed. It was a hell of an idea that King came up with different aliens and that sort of thing that invade this small town, and just how society breaks down a little bit when adverse circumstances like this happen, where everyone is trapped inside and the environment becomes very claustrophobic, and then hidden prejudices and angst rises up to a head. And it's interesting, an interesting example of how society reacts when these sort of circumstances come about. A really, really good read. I had fun with that one too. And finally, the other book I read was Thinner by Bachman King. That is an absolutely fantastic book. I have seen the movie adaptation quite a few times and really, really enjoy that. But I like how the chapters in the book are broken up by Billy Halleck's weight as it goes down. And I really like how his mafia friend helps him out with the gyps. And it was really a fun ride, but loved the project last year. Now the Bookish Bryants are incognito at the moment, and to be honest I hadn't really thought about doing Horror Mayhem again until I saw some of my Booktube friends do announcement videos because they wanted to do it again, even though the Bryants weren't running it. And I thought this could be potentially exciting because I wouldn't mind participating in it again, especially when I watched their videos and I thought, well, when this kind of bandwagon comes along, I've got one of those impressionable personalities where I hate to be left out. Now, May was going to be my final month of my autumn reading plans, and they're out the window because I want to do this. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do for Horror Mayhem? What choices of works am I going to make for any works of horror under 250 pages or less? And then the answer was very obvious to me because this readathon project I was going to do was for Goosebumps, and it's just allowed me to bring it forward sooner rather than later. So I am going to be reading at least 30 Goosebumps books for Horror Mayhem, and they're uniquely qualified because these books are up to about 125 pages each, so it satisfies the requirements for the length of the works. Not only that, but every single trope here is covered, from vampires to werewolves to ghosts to killer dolls and monsters. Everything is here. So I thought, well, why not try and read at least one Goosebumps book a day and see how I go. Now they're very, very low commitment. Okay, they're very, very short, and I'll show you the last batch here. And look, what's going to happen is I'm going to do this in a format like a month-long reading block. I'm just going to split it up into 4 parts for each week of the month, where every weekend I'll upload a video talking to you about my Goosebumps reading experience for that particular week. Now, it's going to vary a little bit depending on how busy I am. Some weeks I may read just the 7 books, some weeks I may read 10. Some weeks I may read 4. Over a weekend I might actually read 5 books. It's hard to say. It all depends on how busy I am, but it's certainly going to increase my Goodreads target, which is going to smash it out of the park. So what I'm going to have to do is adjust my 2023 reading goal for Goodreads. So there you go. But it's certainly going to keep me busy. But look, even though I'm going to be reading Goosebumps mainly, I'm still going to be doing a couple of full-length works as well, just to break it up a little bit. So the first full-length work I'm going to be doing is another James Herbert book, which will be Survivor. Now, this book, I don't own it. I've just ordered it today from Amazon, and it should be here in about the next week or so, just in time for Horror Mayhem. So what I might do is I might start that at the start of the month, take breaks in between and read a couple of Goosebumps books, then resume it and Goosebumps books, and then back to the book and so forth. And the other full-length book I want to read for Horror Mayhem is The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig. This is meant to be a really good book, how some mysterious and scary stuff happens in the 2 protagonists' childhood, and they end up getting married and living life, and he inherits his dad's house and he has to go back to the town, and apparently whatever evil was there or whatever was going on isn't resolved, and they have to both face their childhood fears. So it looks like a really good book and highly appropriate for Horror Mayhem. So lots to look forward to. I'm really excited about this, and you know, in between I did have reading plans for the rest of autumn, but yeah, that's sadly out the window. But I'll might be able to squeeze in 1 or 2 books of what I was planning to read for May anyway, but certainly going to be an exciting project. So I would like to call out the other channels who are participating in this as well. Now, at the time of filming this, I had looked at the Horror Mayhem hashtag on YouTube to see who was doing the announcement videos. If I've missed anyone, I do apologise, but other channels include Michael K. Vaughan, Steve Donahue, Ollie over at Criminolly, Sean D. Standfast, Mindy's Book Journey, Greg from Another Bibliophile Reads, and Garth from Book Songs and Other Magic. They're all doing these this reading project, and it's just fun to collaborate with them and talk with them and get excited about what they're reading. And you know, I've already told a few of them what I've got planned, and yeah, they're excited for me as well, which is really good. Now, if you're watching this and you have a Booktube channel, anyone can participate in this. I would invite everyone to just read some horror for the month of May, because it's just going to be fantastic, and I can't wait to get stuck in. And yeah, the 1st of May it begins. Now, the problem I've got is, where am I going to start? There's so many titles here. I might just grab one at random and just start reading it, but I did calculate how long a typical book will take me to read. I just read a page, timed it, multiplied that by 125, and I think my answer was about 1.5 hours per book of uninterrupted reading. So if you think about that, it's not hard to imagine that I can get through 3 books in a weekend and maybe another 4 during the week in single sittings. So yeah, I'm going to see how I go, see how quick I get through them. So there you go, guys. I'm so looking forward to this. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Offer up any comments or feedback below. I'll always respond to that as per usual. And until the next video, I'll see you later.